So how many of you worry that if you go too fast, the wheels will come off? It's pretty scary, right? I'm here to tell you how you can double or even triple your business, just like we did in the last year, tripling our company while I got married, moved 3 times, renovated a house, and our son was born. My motto, go fast, don't die. Remember when you were a kid, you were riding your bike outside, pedaling as hard as you could, you were flying downhill, you were maybe going 12 miles an hour. Nowadays, you'll get in your car, heading down the interstate, doing 70 miles an hour, not even knowing what you're doing, and text messaging your friends. It's insane. But the more we do it, the faster we go. I love racing, but I didn't start out by going 161 miles an hour in a Ferrari straight into the sunset. It took practice over the years. Go fast, don't die. And the biggest thing I've had to change over the years has been my mindset about what's possible. We all have these limiting beliefs, and I had to get out of my head and get out of the way that sales is too hard, and we can't do this, and we need our operations in the right alignment. Andretti said, if everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. 10 years ago, I came to the Opryland here in Nashville for my first boot camp. I watched 7 Better Your Best finalists who all tremendously grew their business, including Tom Andrulis. He added $2 million in revenue. We also heard from Mike Michalowicz, who told us to make our business our bitch and taught us how to profit first. Hooked on the Kool-Aid, as you can imagine, I joined Producers Club. I wanted to know how to grow and fast. And that year we did. We added $500,000 in revenue to our business and closed that year at $1.3 million. The biggest key to my success that year, I fired myself. I was no longer a technician doing tickets in the business, and I had a different mindset about growth. I joined an accountability group, F5, where we all challenged ourselves to grow past that $5 million mark. Surround yourself with other race car drivers who will challenge you. Go fast, don't die. I next set my vision on $2 million and winning an Inc. 5000 award. And in 2016, we just missed that mark. I realized where I had taken my foot off the gas, and I believe that challenges are just life's way of testing you to see if you're serious. In 19, not only did we get that Inc. 5000 award, but we had surpassed $3 million, and I thought we were going fast. But what I didn't realize was I could go faster. And now, with everything that Robin has put out here in TMT over the years, anybody can do that. Over the years, I've met each one of these fine sharks, even Barbara, and I've been here 4 times a year, every year, to surround myself with like-minded people, to learn the tools and techniques that are going to grow our business, but most of all, to change my mindset about what is possible. In 2020, we hit a bit of a ceiling. We were a little bit flat at $3 million for 2 years in a row, and I had gotten out of a rough season in my personal life. I now believe that the growth of an organization is directly tied to the growth of an individual. But at the time, I really struggled. We had heard from Greg Crabtree, who told us about the valley of death in business at 3 and 5 million, and I felt the doom. I worried that maybe this is all I could do. I worried, maybe I should sell this business. How many of you have ever worried about or thought maybe I should sell? And I think that's a good thing. I think it means that you're trying hard enough. So I did what any entrepreneur should do. I ran away. I took a road trip. I went out to the East Coast and Jekyll Island, where we watched COVID boot camp with Marcus Lemonis, who told us to press on the gas as fast as you can. I headed out west in the van, past the Colorado River, out to a real valley of nothing called Joshua Tree. So yes, go ahead and say it, I lived in a van down by the river. I gave myself time to really reset and reflect and really look at what I wanted. Selling my business for $1 million, that wouldn't last long. And I'm an entrepreneur, which also means I'm unemployable. When I really looked in the mirror, I realized that I wasn't growing, I wasn't taking on risks, and I wasn't challenging myself. So I painted a new vision for my life, one that I call a wholly successful life, and I actually wore that vision in my pocket for the years to come. But being in an industry where 50% of us add less than 5 clients a year, I thought, this is way too slow. and I want to go fast. I wanted fuck yeah growth. I wanted go fast, don't die. So I looked ahead, and I saw the opportunity with acquisitions. And it turns out we're all in the acquisition business. But why acquire 1 or 2 clients at a time when you can buy 10 or 20 or 50 clients at a time, and you'll get all the employees you need at the same time? So we looked ahead to do an acquisition. Go fast, don't die. Now, did I know how to do an acquisition? Did I know what steps to take? Of course not. I challenged myself to figure it out. And what do we do in IT when we don't know how? We Google it. And 6 months later, we did our first acquisition with a bit of our own cash. That year, we did $4.3 million, alongside the $500,000 in organic growth that we did. And the only reason for that growth was that I challenged myself and I took on new risks. I stayed focused on my vision. I got into the relationship that I wanted, and in Christmas 2021, we decided to have the best year ever. You know what's more exhilarating than sending out mailing campaigns? Taking on debt. That shit will motivate you. We took on our second acquisition, a much larger one, 3 times the size. And a new challenge arose in that I didn't have $1 million sitting in my pocket to buy. Just 7 days before we were to close, the SBA loan finally came through, and the money was in our bank account, and we were able to close on a $2 million business. Last year, we also organically added 16 clients and $66,000 in recurring, alongside the $140,000 in recurring that we paid for. So both ways work, organic and acquisition. Last year, we did $7.6 million with about $1 million net. It's been a life-changing experience in so many different ways, but the biggest change for me is my mindset. I now see even more possibility, and I've got a path for us to get to $29 million by 2029. We wanted to go faster, so we left the race car behind, and we got in a helicopter and took that across the valley of death, and we're now almost at $10 million. We've broken through another ceiling. Thank you. Thank you. Along the way, life and business has grown to being more than just about me trying to figure out how to survive. It's now about the impact that we bring for all of our clients and every single one of our team members, and now it's about our family and my son Wilder. I cannot tell you any of this has been easy. It has been downright challenging more than a few times. But the faster we go, the more we break through and the more we're able to accomplish. Because it turns out that speed has never killed anyone. Suddenly becoming stationary, that's what gets you. So go, build a new vision, take on new risks, challenge yourself, grow your business, and change your life. Just remember, go fast, don't die. Thank you.
So Steve, it's a great story. It's a great story. I love the energy. I love the fact that you have no idea what you're doing and you do it and you figure it out when it goes.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, and that's outstanding. So M&A is interesting. There's a lot of M&A happening in the industry, and I like the way you phrased it. You phrased it by acquiring customers is easier and cheaper than going and only organically getting them. Yet at the same time, you're also tracking your organic growth, which is great. So my question goes into the M&A side of it. When you're integrating the different businesses that you're acquiring, we see a lot of challenges, a lot of churn happens usually at month 14 or 15 after an acquisition. That's the data in the industry. You know, a small entrepreneur has a local MSP, they sell it. After a year, their customers maybe lose a little bit of attention. How's that gone for you? What has your churn been like in the acquired customers you've received, both revenue and logo churn? And how do you kind of handle that and address it?
Yeah, we've done 4 acquisitions, and so 2 of them, the sellers stayed with us, which I think is a huge differing point because the customers love that former owner, right? And so those first 2 have done really well, right? Not only has the book stayed, we've been able to upsell it, and they're sticking around, and we're doing net new logos even from their network and the people that they've known. In the last 2, and these are very recent, but seller did not stay, and we're seeing that bit of challenge. And so it's requiring more effort from us to go out there and really earn that business. Now, the beauty in it, and all of us are seeing this, clients are not making switches, right? We're getting new proposals out there, and they go, we didn't change, we stayed. And so it takes a lot to lose a customer. And so thankfully, because of that, we're able to say, hey, look, we're here, we want to take care of you, and I know we're not the old guy or the old shop or whatever, and certainly we have some of those employees. It just takes maybe a little bit more effort when the seller hasn't stayed on.
So you've done 4 deals. You're almost at 15% EBITDA, which is best of breed, I assume.
Arch was 20.
Of 20?
Arch was 20.
Okay. So what did you pay? What was the multiple on EBITDA?
Yeah. When we're looking at deals, we're typically trying to pay maybe 4 or 5. Now, the beauty is that, of course,
EBITDA.
Correct.
4 or 5?
4 or 5x.
Did you pay more than 5 for anybody?
No.
And what was the average customer base they had when you bought it?
They're all over the board. I mean, one was 35 customers, one was 100 customers, another one at 30. So we're doing some smaller deals.
And if you were going to sell your business today, what do you think you'd get for it?
You might get 5 or 6.
Might get what?
Might get 5 or 6 EBITDA.
Okay, so why aren't you doing more deals? It's very accretive.
I need more money.
I mean,
Banks, the banks that I've talked to are having a hard time getting on thesis with what we're trying to do. Our debt service coverage ratio is within what I understand to be the norms. I'm figuring this shit out as we go along here. Yeah. Our leverage is 2, not even 3. But banks are like, no, we can't do it.
And that leverage, are you paying that off every month on principal?
Yeah.
So you're servicing the debt, you have a history of service?
Correct, yeah. I mean, we have to be profitable to serve that debt, or I have a problem.
Well, I mean, you're the speed, don't die guy. I mean, you should go for the gusto and start rolling here. Because, I mean, this is very accretive.
Yeah, the challenge now is, of course, finding deals, where they're not everywhere, right? And funding. You know, if I could get more funding, I think we could go faster. I've actually lost a deal because we didn't have funding.
Have you thought about equity partners?
Yes and no. I really think I can do this and get to 30 million in the next handful of years, and then maybe I'll reevaluate.
I wouldn't go to equity at this size. You're going to take
too
a
early.
big hit. Yeah, you're going to take a big hit.
But
I mean, I think, look, first of all, fantastic presentation. The energy is amazing. It's so obvious to me that you're a leader. You're more of a leader than a manager, which is what you need. And I mean, what's the definition of entrepreneur? Somebody who jumps out of an airplane and builds a parachute on their way down, right? That is
doing it in a
you,
race car,
and
but yeah.
I was I think we were $5.5 million, and I did my first acquisition. I bought a $5 million company. And I negotiated the deal, had the customer base, the whole 9 yards, went to the bank to get the money, and they said, can you show me the statements from the other company and what the accretive growth rate is? And I went, I'll be back. I didn't even know enough to ask for their statements. Sure. I'm like, this is a great business. We should buy this. How are you paying for the deals? Is it always cash? Have you tried an earn-out?
Yeah, some of the first 2 had earn-outs as a component, seller notes, a little bit of cash, like any way to get the deal done.
But somebody lent you some money, right?
SBA.
That was a regional bank, right?
Yeah.
How many employees did you have in 2021?
I mean, now we've bolted up to 52, so we were
I'm saying in 2021, how many did you have?
30 maybe 35.
So the government, have you got your employee retention credit?
Yeah.
You got it already?
Yeah.
What'd you get, 450,000?
No, not that much. So I need to ask again.
No. I mean, all my companies are applying for that with 50, we're getting as much as 600,000.
Yeah.
I got a question. So on Shark Tank, just we don't know anything about anybody, and we got a little blurb here. It says your EBITDA was 14%, but you said it was 20%.
Yeah, 14 for the total of last year. In March, we did 20%.
And how much are you consolidating of the acquisitions? They running independently or?
No, we've taken the thesis. We're staying in Chicagoland. The market is big enough for us to get to where we want to be, and we've taken the thesis that our brand, the way we do things, is important to us. We don't want little islands of the acquisition companies, and so we're fully integrating. It is a pain in the ass, but I believe it's the right way to do it.
it never gets easier, no matter how big you get.
Yeah.
Why not do bigger deals with earnout?
Absolutely. Now that I've gotten us to where we are, I took whatever I could get because I was like, let's do this.
Because when you do the first one and you go to somebody and say, sell me your business, I'll pay you over time, nobody believes you.
Yeah.
But you've
Now
done
we can do it.
4.
You've gotten history.
And there's lots of MSPs out there and other people that are, older, that maybe they want to retire, they want some liquidity. You could keep going, man.
Totally. And
Are
now
you
that
showing
we're-
that process of the history? Because Robert's explanation of an entrepreneur where he grew up is very different than mine. Where I grew up, an entrepreneur was somebody that set your house on fire and then sold you a water hose to put it out. So, I'm saying I grew up in the hood. So, where's the history you're showing? Because I think Robert did say something about credibility, and where are you showing that history? Because that's what I think you're going to sell now. It's a great story here. This is an amazing story. And sometimes it's not really the capital, the cash that they need to see. They need to see something forward-facing that Robert said, I'm going to be able to give you the money,
Yeah, it's a really hard industry to be in, and a lot of guys have slogged at it for a long time. The thesis is that they can come join us, take some chips off the table, so to speak, really get on the rocket ship and still have fun with it. And some of the sellers, our 2 sellers are doing that now and enjoying it. And it's a hell of a lot easier than trying to slog your way through it yourself. I'll take the brunt of that challenge.
All right, so we're good, guys?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you all.
Great job.
Thank you.